Well, hello again, friends. Three Card Thursday for April 29th, 2021. I'm Brian Noe with you. Happy to be around again on another Thursday. We'll be doing a quick three-card draw here, three-card spread for sort of a little bit of energy for the weekend to come. Wanted to mention a new blog post up on the Cards of Light weblog at brightblessingstarot.com. When I first started studying the tarot, I ran across a video of author Vincent Petici, and he was giving a lecture at the Theosophical Society of America about the tarot, and described how he thinks the cards work, and essentially this is the way that I have approached the cards ever since, and sort of the way that I learned to read and the style that I have adopted. And that is, it's called conceptual blending. It's a process that our minds do all the time, just sort of in a natural way. And it is when you have an idea or a concept or a question, and you add into that a random stimulus of some sort, something that seems unrelated at first at least. And then your mind works with those two things to sort of mush them together and create meaning or discover meaning. And it's a really fascinating way of looking at the cards. I've got the video from Petici embedded on the weblog post, as well as a few thoughts of my own there. So if you'd like to pop out, the link is in the description of the video here. I'd love to hear what you think, and would definitely recommend watching that video. Let's turn the camera to the table, and we have three cards as always. Sort of roughly past or influences, present, or the energy that's here now, and kind of what's to come this weekend. And really super interesting. We've got a couple of court cards here. We have a couple of discs. So we'll take these one at a time. We've got the 10 of discs, which Crowley designates wealth. We've got the Princess of Disc, and we've got the Princess of Swords. And remember, princesses in the Thoth deck would be analogous to pages in some of the other decks you might be familiar with. So the lowest rank of the court cards there. Okay, so we have the 10 of discs, and this is the card of completion of the suit of discs. The suit of discs, of course, the suit of the material, physical dimension of things, or the material, earthly plane in terms of the planes of the tree of life. It is the material physical suit. And we've got a depiction here of the tree of life of the Kabbalah on this card. And you'll notice that the 10th disc is larger. So this represents kind of as far as you can go in the material plane from the source up here. And so he has got it designated wealth in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. In that tradition, it has the picture of, almost looks like the hermit, but an older bearded, white-haired guy sitting in sort of a courtyard. It looks like extended family and a couple little dogs around him, and it's very lush and opulent and all of that. And there's also a depiction of this same symbol of the tree of life on that card as well. And so it can be thought of as a card of intergenerational wealth. It can be thought of as relating to old age or accomplishment or achievement of some sort in the material, financial plane. But it sort of also indicates that that's as far as it can go. So lots of times you we kind of have this mythology of someone who achieves all sorts of wealth and fame and then they aren't happy. And so I think that it is about legacy. It is about manifestation of good things in the physical realm, but also sort of recognizing the limitations of that. So we're starting from a place of really serious grounding here. Um, but I think in this position especially, it's telling us let's not be satisfied just with that. Let's not be satisfied with material things. Let's look for the spiritual essence beyond all of that. So that would be the way I would read that one. And then we've got the Princess of Discs following it. And this card, again, would be the fourth rank of the court cards in that same suit. And it's kind of a little bit difficult to explain without going into a great deal of detail about those system, but each of the court cards will represent a spot on this tree of life as well. So knights or kings would be here, queens would be here. The sixth position would be prince, and this 10th position would be the princess. And so you can think of this card as having sort of fallen so far from grace that she hasn't got any way to go but up. And so this is a card that's awaiting transformation, waiting for something to happen, and sort of ruling the earthly realm in some ways in the meantime. You can see a diamond on the end of her staff here, and she's holding a disc standing out in a forest. This is a card that represents for me grounding, but also I think of the princess cards or the page cards as beginners in some way. So we're in sort of a very cool grounded spot here from which to do something, and I think that the question is, what is that we should be doing? So I think both of these cards are saying, hey, well, there's got to be something more than this. Let's look into that, or let's be conscious of that. And then over here we have the Princess of Swords. Swords, the suit of the mind, the suit of the air. And again, the princess being the beginner, the one who has sort of sifted down in the tree of life to the point where now they're ready to head off with something new. So this could represent a new idea, or a new way of thinking, or a new approach. So overall, I would say some new stuff on the horizon here, starting from a place of solidity and grounding, and let's not leave it there. Let's move on to new ideas, new thoughts, new ways of doing things. Of course, the practical application of all of this would depend a lot on the individual situation and what's going on in your life. But that's the way I would see the energy moving here. So sort of an upward arc, coming from a very descended, grounded spot here, getting ready to take off here, and then here is when we really start to see some movement and change in the energy and in the realm of the mind in particular this weekend. So it might be a good time to take up the study of something new, whether that would be, reading a new book, starting to learn a new language or something like that might be an interesting thing to do, or just cultivating if a new idea occurs to you over the next few days. Think about what you could do with that idea and where you can go from there. I think that's about all that I have to say about this. I'd love to hear from you. If you have either thoughts or questions or comments about either this reading or anything else having to do with the tarot, or anything else having to do with anything else, get in touch with me. You're welcome to leave a comment either here on the video or over on the weblog at brightblessingstarot.com. If all goes well, I will be back Sunday morning for our Sunday morning spread. And in the meantime, I hope you remain well and safe and happy. And keep flipping the cards over. We'll see you soon. Take care.